I'm on a mission, and I would like to ask for your help. In the next few minutes, I might say a few things that you've already heard before, but from my own personal experience, sometimes a problem and its associated numbers can become so big, it becomes almost unable to be grasped. So if I'm to tell you that during the time that I'm on stage, which is about 5 minutes, 2 million single-use plastic beverage containers are being used and discarded in the US. That might not hit home with you at all. 2 million. We all know what this means, but can we really grasp what it looks like? Now, an artist I greatly admire called Chris Jordan, he successfully portrays what these unconscious behaviors, like using everyday single-use plastic beverage containers, what that results in. This is exactly 2 million. Five minutes. Now, I'm from Holland, and when I came to the US, I wanted to do a similar thing with just water bottles. And me and my colleague Lexi, we built a huge plastic wave. It's made of 6,000 single-use plastic water bottles. And it's so funny for me to look at it, because we spent a month in a dumpster bin collecting these, but it portrays only 4 seconds. So I can understand that the challenge with these things is that when you hear the facts and figures, you almost get a sense of, there is just nothing that I can do. But that is also the beauty of it, because optimism prevails, and not only because we're at a TEDx conference, but I seriously think that we can change this, if only we start now. Now, as I said, I'm from Holland, so what if I were to tell you that in Holland we use our toothbrush only once? We go to the supermarket every day and we pay like $2 or $3, sometimes $4 or $5 when it comes from Fiji or from France, and then we brush our teeth in the evening and then we just chuck it. Would that make sense to you? I mean, it's not true, but if you think about it, buying bottled water is equally as ridiculous, especially since you can get it from the tap or from a filtered water station just as easy. Although you may think that the majority of all of these bottles are being recycled, the reality is that only 1 out of 5 is. So the other 4 out of 5, the 1.6 million every 5 minutes, ends up in a hole in the ground or in our oceans. Now, somebody who can attest to this reality is a sailor who sailed from Melbourne, Australia to Osaka in Japan. And I read an interview with him, and it was so interesting to me, because when asked what was the most remarkable thing of the whole trip, he said, it was the silence. And the interviewer asked, what do you mean? And he said, it was just completely silent. Because there weren't any birds. Because there weren't any fish. But what he did see was the effects of our patterns of consumption, literally all around him. At numerous occasions, he couldn't start his engine because it would get stuck in the plastic debris. And all the while, he was starving because there weren't any fish, because they probably died from eating the plastic. Fish think plastic is food. They eat it, and as we eat the fish, inevitably we'll be eating the plastic that we put in the water ourselves. A colleague of mine compared this, actually a great analogy, I think. It's like a hot tea with a sugar cube, because over time it dissolves and it becomes so small that it can't be cleaned anymore. And that is exactly why I'm so excited of stop talking about this myth of recycling and instead start focusing on reuse. Because this is not doom and gloom, and not here at all to do that. I think we can actually change that, because all these small individual behaviors led to this giant plastic pollution problem. But all of these small individual behaviors can also lead to a giant solution. Now, the organizers of the conference asked you to bring a reusable water bottle. I can reuse this for the rest of my life. It'll save me a ton of money, and it won't leave a dent on the planet. What if you said today, I'm just not going to buy bottled water anymore? And what if you told 3 other people? And then they would tell 3 other people. Let's not have this be dismissed into the unconscious again. And instead, let's start now. I'll leave you with this one. Thank you.